I have waited nearly a year for this. My happiness cannot be overstated. Hey friend, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd. My husband ordered this for me almost a year ago. And actually, there's something I got him for his birthday last year. It was a kickstart for a game, and it's legit, but it's still in development. He's gotten games from them before, so yeah, it's legit. But I ordered it last February, and it still hasn't. We just got a test kit for the game, and yeah, it's a whole process. But this is an action figure that a friend of mine at work had said, you need to check this company out. They probably have figures you'd be interested in. And not wrong. Not wrong at all. So if you've been following me, you know that one of my favorite franchises, animated franchises, is one of my orchids is starting to bloom again. Yay! Oh, I think that one is too. I have 3 orchids in my office and 3 lilies. 4 lilies? Yeah. I have a lot of plants in here. They're behind me. Well, behind the camera. That's not why we're here. But one of my favorite, is I'm just waving a knife around. One of my favorite franchises is Lower Decks in Star Trek. One, I love animation. I think animation is just one of the most amazing ways to tell stories. Suspension of disbelief in animation is automatic because it's animated. So you can do anything, be anything, show anything, and you can be completely invested. My dad loved animation as well, so I think I got that from him. He really liked cartoons, and he liked horror movies. So, when I was like, 5 or 6 years old, me and my dad watched horror movies together. And also, I was a huge fan of the Twilight Zone since I was really little. So I get that from my dad. Like, he was really into like the 60s, 70s, 80s animation style. Like Speed Racer was one of his favorites. Unfortunately, he passed away before the Speed Racer movie came out because he would have loved that. But like, he loved like the Speed Racer. He watched Gundam Wing with me. He's the one who got me into like the Transformers and all that kind of stuff. My hair is being weird, and I'm just gonna keep messing with it. Sorry. But he is like my bloodline animation. Like, I came by it honestly. So like, you see it all over here, but it's just, if I have a choice between live action television and a cartoon, I'm gonna pick a cartoon. I'm gonna pick Adventure Time and Steven Universe any day over, the most popular sitcom or mystery show. Not that there aren't live action shows. There are. I love me some K-drama. Have y'all watched Rui's Royal Love in the Palace? I gotta get back to talking about that series. Now that I've got my 3,000 points done, I can do other things because January was all about my army. Now I can talk about other stuff. Now that I've got that knocked out. But yeah, I love Rui's Royal Love in the Palace. I like the live action. I think it was the Korean version of Boys Over Flowers. I really like that. So I'm into live action, but there's just something special about animation, especially when you run across what could basically be an animated version of yourself. And that is Miss Beckett Mariner. She ain't fiction, she real. Beckett Mariner is me, and I am Beckett Mariner. So guess what's in the box? Let's crack her open. I've been waiting so long for this. What's funny is when it finally arrived, I was starting to think we got scammed. I'm not even going to. It took so long. Like the same thing with my Hello Kitty mug. I'm still not sure it wasn't a knockoff. Don't care. Love it. But I was like, did we give these people money and they're not legit? But because they came recommended from someone who had already ordered from them, then that gave me some comfort. What probably happened is there was a delay in manufacturing, and then of course a lot of stuff, if it's being shipped from overseas, it's not coming on a plane. It's coming on a boat. You know how long it takes to get from Asia to America by boat? It's not quick. There is just stuff falling out. Oh, it was very well protected. All these little corner pieces are falling out. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for protecting my figure, y'all. OMG. She's insane. It was worth the wait. So, of course, it's a Beckett Mariner figure. But are y'all ready for this? It's too awesome. Oh, wait. You know what we need? We gotta have our bois. 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 Bois, bois. Doom, 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 doom. Bois. They had one of those corner pieces for every single corner of this box, and I love the protection. Beckett Mariner 1/10 scale collectible statue. And this is by Mondo. I'd never heard of them until one of my coworkers said they probably make figures you would want. And I was like, talk to me. And was not wrong. Oh, she's got the Klingon Batleth. That's so great. So 1/10 scale. Love everything about it. She's got I love this. She's got her fighty face. I want to dance in your blood. The fight face. That's my favorite version of her. Let's get her out of this plastic and have a closer look. Now, this is going to be a figure that I will open once we get some remodeling done and I have a place to put her, because I feel like I want her in my office somewhere because she's too beautiful for me not to see every single day. But I love it because she's got extra arms. So we have different positioning options. Let's see. She comes with right phaser arm. Okay, so there's a phaser in one hand. Left phaser arm, body, base, right arm, batleth, left arm batleth, and the batleth. So I got options. She can either be phaser girl or she can be fighting with the batleth. So she's too gorgeous. Look at her. Okay, so why I love this character so much. If you've not watched Lower Decks, the last season came out in 2024, which I honestly haven't watched yet because I'm in denial. I did the same thing with Disenchantment, which for some reason I always forget the name of that show, even though I love it so much. It's like when you like a show a lot and then it's coming to an end, it's like, so I'm going to binge it one weekend when I have nothing else to do. But the reason I love this character is, at least for me, this is that fictional character that I'm like, okay, yeah, I rocks with her because I are her. Like, I understand being the child of people who were great. So by relation, you should be great. And great without really, people recognizing that you have the ability to choose what you want to be great at. You don't have to be great at something just because someone told you to. you know, I recognize, being of a certain age and people thinking you should have it all together and you're still floating. And I like stories like that because even though the universe and setting is completely fanciful science fiction, the relatability of the characters is very good in this series. Like this is a character who is the daughter of an admiral and a captain. She was destined to be great. And she actually is. What's crazy is she is uber talented. She has all the makings of a fantastic Starfleet captain. She can fight. She's smart. She thinks on her feet. She's personable. People like her. But then she had some tragic circumstances happen and she started running away from it because she lost herself. And in the beginning of the series, I guess minor spoilers, in the beginning of the series, she's just a troublemaker. But as the series goes on, you realize, oh, she has depth. It's not that she's rebelling, it's that she has not properly recovered from an experience and had a chance to think through it and understand, is what I thought I wanted really what I wanted? And she's just taken a life break, basically. I relate to that because I've talked about, my experiences with church and stuff, not super deep, but just, at a high level, that, I was really all in on working at church. And then, the rose colored glasses fell off. And then I saw things for what they were. And I was like, ah. And I had a few years of floating. I get it. And the thing is I was very good at church work. I've been a director of children's churches twice. In addition to working full time, I've run multiple children's plays and events, all kinds of stuff. I'm very good at working with kids. I still teach martial arts and teach kids. Actually, this past weekend, um, a new family came to the school and I was teaching because I'm the Saturday teacher. And the dad had been to our school 15 years ago, so when he was younger, and now he was bringing his little boy. His little boy was 3.5. And I know somebody's gonna be like, "That's too young." He wants to do something with dad. We encourage parent-child relationships and bonding. So I was like, all we can do is work with this child and see if it is his time to be here. And when they got there, I heard them while I was in the girls' dressing room. I put on my uniform, coming out, and I see them. So I send them in to go talk to the instructor. But the little bitty boy, I got down on his level and introduced myself and asked him if he was excited, and he was ready. And before class, he was running around. But then when we started, he got real shy when everybody else got there, because everybody else who came, except for a couple of children, were much bigger than him. I mean, you got to think about the world from a child's perspective. Like, we're all giants. They might be giants. No, they are giants. Like, the world is scary when you're that small. So all of a sudden, all these big people he didn't know appeared, and probably in his little mind, it was going to be him and dad that day, and then it was him, dad, and the rest. So he kind of, when we were doing our warm up, he kind of like sunk in. So I made the decision in that moment that, I was going to pair everybody else off and that I would hold his target and he would kick with me. Did he do good? He did 3.5-year-old, which is perfectly fine, but he left with a good experience. That's how good I am at working with kids. Granted, those are skills I've honed over many years and lots of education in the matter, but that's how, good I am. And then, there was a period of time where I had, and still right now, I'm not attending a particular church regularly right now because I still have some things church wise. I get her. I get it, because when the rose colored glasses are taken off, when things happen that change your perspective of something that you may really enjoy and like, that's hard to reconcile with. And it's hard to get really attached, no matter how good at something you are, no matter how much you love it. If something significant is brought in front of you that you can't ignore, that is going to impact who you think you are, the person you think you want to be, the impact you think you want to have on the world, it's going to make you question. And that's what she's going through in this series. I think that's why I love this character so much, because she does eventually overcome. And the journey to overcoming involves making friends, being vulnerable, learning how to take instruction, which is the journey I've taken in my life. I mean, I'm of a certain age now, but there was a time where, I thought my poop didn't stink. It did, but we all go through that phase in our 20s where we're just like, oh, I'm the greatest. And now I'm a more humble person. I think that's why I make a good trainer and a good teacher, is because I believe in being a learner first. Learn about the world, learn about people, value relationships. The thing I value most in the world is my relationships, the relationship with my husband and family, my friends. Losing people hurts me more. I mean, it would suck if my house burned down tomorrow, but I would care most, are my husband and my son okay? Is my dog okay? Like, losing people hurts me more than anything. And that's what she's gone through. And I can respect this kind of fiction because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fiction is so beautiful because it lets us examine real world concepts from a safe distance. It lets us walk through an experience and get perspectives without having to be in it for real. There's safety in fiction. And if you're a fan of shows like, just being honest, Rick and Morty, Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, the other one, the Rick and Morty dude came out with, Solar Opposites. If you're in that vein of animation, this will probably appeal to you. This is it's a coming of age, but it's an adult coming of age. They're not teenagers. They're grown. Um, and I appreciate seeing media targeted toward that. Yes, I'm grown, but I'm still figuring it out phase of life. Because sometimes it usually goes to the extremes. It's like, middle age and up or really young. And this is that dead up in between phase where people think you should have it together, but you don't. But you don't want to tell people you don't have it together because everyone thinks you have it together. Really well done show. And I love the crossover episode they did with Strange New Worlds. Love Strange New Worlds as well. Strange New Worlds and this got me back into Star Trek. I haven't really been interested much in it. I grew up with The Next Generation. That was my series. I did like the original series. I watched that with my dad quite a bit too. He was a big sci-fi nerd, and comic book nerd. So we watched the original. When I was younger, when I was like 17, 18 years old, I was working at the Science Museum in Nashville. It's called something else. I think it's called the Adventure Science Center now, but when I was younger, it was called the Cumberland Science Museum. Or I may have been 16 when this happened, but there was a Star Trek convention at the Cumberland Science Museum, so I had to wear a uniform. I still have that uniform. But James Doohan came, and he did a picture with the staff, and I thought it was supposed to be like everyone who worked there. Like, no, it was supposed to be like the people who got paid for working there. But I was in that picture anyway. I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is. I gotta find it. But that was really cool. I got to meet James Doohan. Got to hear a lot of cool speeches. I got to participate in some cool events. It was a really cool day. But since that time, I haven't really been. I did like the redone movies with which Hollywood Chris is it? The Pine Chris. So like I really enjoyed those. They were super fun. They were respectful of the old, but they refreshed it for a new generation. Like that. That's a good version of a remake or redo or revamp, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, highly recommend. Just it's a very grounded show, but it's detached enough from reality that it's like I can enjoy this. You can either watch this as brainless enjoyment, but also it's a good story. That first season's going to throw you because it's just like, oh, this is just a brainless comedy, and it's not. It's not. It's very well done, and I'm so happy my husband got this for me. Mondo, it was not sponsored, but definitely worth the wait. And I like Boimler. I like the other characters. My husband and I are probably gonna go as Orion Pirates to a convention sometime this year because we really like the parents. um, this is the mistress of the Northern Wind and her husband Bert. Like it's great, it's a good time. Just go watch the show. But yeah, this is a beautiful figure. I'm going to open her when I have a good place to put her. For now, she shall stay safely ensconced. I'm gonna find a place back here to put her. I was gonna rearrange all this over the holidays, but the holidays got away from me, and I slept a lot during the holidays. No, it was great, but back to real life. But yeah, I'll get to this as I get to remodeling the house and stuff. But such a great character, such a great show. I'm so happy to have it. I've talked enough. I've got other things to do. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.